we are able to have an agreement on even nuclear energy, civil nuclear deal, but we have to safeguard the using of the nuclear energy, reactors, etc., without compromising on the safety aspects. Our nuclear energy program is going on to expand as of now from 8 gigawatt, which is the current strength, to something like 24 gigawatt till by 2035. There may be certain compromises and difficulties which may arise. It will affect our own nuclear policy programs, because we are committed to keeping a certain level of atomic weapons to the deterrence level. Usually, US has been insisting on non-proliferation among all the countries.
As India and the US deepen talks spanning trade, defense, energy and now nuclear cooperation, what does it really mean beyond the diplomatic headlines? In this interview, we speak to R Govindarajan, former Dean of the Homi Bhabha National Institute, to understand the science behind the strategy. From small modular reactors to technology transfer and safety frameworks, he will explain what's at stake for India's nuclear future. Sir, what's being discussed in this India-US trade, particularly about the nuclear energy? Because from a scientific point of view and a technical standpoint, how do you interpret the linkage between civilian nuclear cooperation and broader strategic defense dialogue?
It is very, very important stage because there is pressure on India that we have to do something, and there is a threat. The earlier global agreements, etc., are all over. Now we have to reach new level. It is almost like what many countries like Canada and UK and EU are now making independent agreements against the kind of tariff which they have been forced to with several countries, including India, China, and various other countries. So as part of that, since many countries are doing and we are also doing, the US is to some extent backing out from the earlier tariff threats which were there, and now trying to complete the tariff agreement. But we are saying that there is going to be 0% tariff on US and 18% tariff on India. And we have also committed to something like $500 billion to be used in US economy by Indians in the next 5 years. Now, the details are not completely yet available, and in principle, since it is only a trade agreement, they should discuss it in the parliament. And there are some sectors on which you would have given up and some sectors in which you would have gained, particularly agriculture and other things. If many agricultural products are allowed to be imported with 0% duty, then it will kill our agriculture. And India is an agriculture-dominated country, and it will definitely affect majority of the people. That is why many of the agricultural organizations are protesting against this. But it is not clear how much is granted and how much is obtained. Given the overall statements which have been publicly available, we have to wait for the details. But the idea about civil nuclear deal has been always there. Now the basic question is nuclear energy is one of the needs of our country, and a lot of new developments have taken place in the nuclear energy. And there is a good thing which is there, that we are able to have an agreement on even nuclear energy, civil nuclear deal. We have to safeguard the using of the nuclear energy, reactors, etc., without compromising on the safety aspects. Now, there is a lot of demand by the Western countries that the compensation, etc., should not be, burden should not be on them. Now, that is an unacceptable thing, because the person who sells should make sure that the whole thing is safe. And that we have to be very careful. And there are some attempts to change our own act, and it has already been done by this new bill which is called Shanti Bill. and there are some changes which are there. Some changes are required partly because if you have a smaller reactor like nuclear submarine level reactor, the exclusion zones etc. have to be modified. But the compensations and other things have to be very, very carefully worded, and it is only the future will tell how we are able to achieve that. But this trade deal also includes something about the civil nuclear deal as well as our role in Quad. Now this Quad itself is an arrangement, as far as I can see, in the international politics by the US to play the game against China, because that is their main rival, because politically, economically and in terms of defense, China is a major rival for US. So they are trying to put countries against them who are all naturally against them. One is Japan and another is Australia. So the Quad includes them. But Japan and Australia are very economically very sound countries. The third one is ourselves, and we are a developing country, but not our development has not gone to the level of Japan and Australia. So we are a partner in the game of Quad, which is a smaller partner in some sense. We will not be able to make major strength except by the threat that I will quit Quad and go to BRICS in a bigger way. We are already in BRICS, but that will happen. But this is the kind of a thing we have to be very careful.
The US Department of Energy recently approved a move allowing an American company, Holtec, to design and build nuclear reactors in India, including small modular reactors. Recently, Chris Singh, US nuclear power firm CEO, declared major expansion is being planned in India's nuclear energy sector by building some 200 small modular reactors. What's your opinion on this?
I don't think it will work. So, thing is, small modular reactors are very, very initial stages. Now, you can say 200, but how long? If you say it will be after 30 years or 40 years, it is practically no use. So, as of now, our nuclear energy program is going on to expand as of now from 8 gigawatt, which is the current strength, to something like 24 gigawatt till by 2035. Hopefully, a major part of it will be achieved because we have the capacity to do that. There is no doubt about it.
That is indigenously?
Indigenously prepared. This is advanced pressurized heavy water reactors, and also we have agreement with like Kodangulam to expand it further. So those things are working.
With the help of Russia?
That is with the help of Russia. Some 4,000 additional gigawatt will be produced. And there is an agreement with France and thing, which is, I don't know, it is not taken up fast, Jaitapur. The next one is mainly our own advanced heavy water reactors, pressurized heavy water reactors, which is about 700 megawatt, and that is a quite lot of them. They have been successfully demonstrated in Kakrapur. So the plan is to expand that in all the places by additional reactors. So most probably this will be achieved. If not 100%, 24 gigawatt by 2035. The next stage is small modular reactors. We are also doing research. There are countries which are doing that. Now only Russia and China has demonstrated the existence of small modular reactors, and testable demonstrated small modular reactors from our sides has not yet come, even though we have, it's claimed several designs are available. And to what extent the Indo-US deal will help in expanding this program is not clear. And I would say whatever their 200 SMRs, etc., may be far-fetched as of now.
So what are the scientific and regulatory changes in such technology transfers, and how might they affect India's nuclear energy sector?
Very likely that thing will not be, know-how will not be transferred. They will not, most likely that will not be. So what may happen is they export some small reactors, and we may agree to buy for our own data centers which may come up, because data centers consume
a lot of
energy and they want independent energy thing. So some states do fight for it. So they may even succeed in changing the Atomic Energy Act using the loopholes in Shanti, and also they may succeed in doing that, but that to some extent. But it all depends on how much data centers hubs are going to come up. Given this kind of a thing, we have to be careful, because once you start outsourcing many of these things, without the social control of the government, with all their remarks, there may be certain compromises and difficulties which may arise, and we have to be careful with that. And of course, it will affect our own nuclear policy programs, because we are committed to keeping a certain level of atomic weapons to the deterrence level, so that that is compensating what the neighboring countries are doing, etc. So that will also have a lot of implications for that. It's not yet clear what is the status, but as of now, this particular deal will have a lot of thinking that is required, and it is not clear whether the Nuclear Energy Department has played any major role in deciding this thing. It's probably only external affairs, depending on economic conditions, they made the deal. It is not clear.
Okay. Because it's just a phone call overnight and it was just a social media post.
Yeah,
we have no idea.
Yeah, we don't know anything about the details. There is a transparency that is required. It's not only the opposition which is demanding transparency. Even Telugu Desam, their ally, has demanded transparency of the deal itself, because they are now feeling that it may affect their own state. So our state will be affected, because our Tamil Nadu will be affected, because there is a huge rare earth thing which are there. Corridor will be there. And what is the understanding for the corridor with the center, and who will benefit out of it, how will it be beneficial to all the people, is not yet clear. So these are all problems which we have to face.
There is global debate on how civil nuclear deals influence non-proliferation regimes and strategic balances. As a scientist, how would you explain the implications of enhanced India-US nuclear cooperation for global nuclear governance and India's own energy and defense politics?
Yes. Usually, US has been insisting on non-proliferation among all the countries, even in the past. The one has to give credit for that thing. Even though they have been developing their own weapons, and all the weapon countries have been developing their own weapons and modernizing it, US has also been thinking, but they have made sure so far that non-proliferation is the backbone of all these things. So the basic thing is now the small modular reactors and other things which are being proposed, and also thorium reactors which are there, they cannot be used for weapons. So it is very clear. It is only uranium and plutonium kind of thing will be useful, that knowledge will be useful for weapons. Thorium is less likely to be utilized. So to that extent, non-proliferation will get a little bit strengthened by the transfer of knowledge about some of these things. But all the countries play according to what their strength is. And US is also doing. And while they will insist on non-proliferation, they have somehow allowed Israel to have weapons. And it is the only country in Middle East which has weapons and also threatens the rest of the neighboring countries with weapons in case their existence, or they feel their existence is threatened. If they feel their existence is threatened, they may not hesitate to use their weapon. So there the US and Western countries have played a double game in not stopping countries like Israel from coming to the table of non-proliferation. That has failed to do that. but that is because Israel is their ally. Okay.
So how do you think in the long run this will impact the defense politics between India and the US?
Defense politics in India and any other country, particularly because our defense collaboration is mostly with Russia. It has been a backbone of our strength. Now India is also widening their defense to go to France and US and other places, and they will demand their goals to be satisfied if certain advanced weaponry and other things have to be given. So we have to wait for, and it all depends on in this international game of politics. Both US and Russia and China, all these fellows, all these people play a major role. Now it looks like even the Western European countries have been threatened by Greenland and other things. So it's a new game which is being played. It is not like the earlier game of all the West, including EU and thing, against the rest of the places. It is not like that. So the lot of players are there. So it is at a stage where we don't know how the nuclear and other factors will start changing in the next maybe 5 to 10 years.